Hi, I'm Ben Pascoe for learningsurfphotography.com, and I'm going to do another quick unboxing video today. So I received my Liquid Eye C6000 water housing for the Sony a6000 Alpha 6000 camera. You might have seen my previous videos about the salty surf housing for the a6000, and this one is made by Liquid Eye. So they've been making water housings for a long time. They're based in Indonesia, so this has come all the way from Indonesia. As you can see, it's been repackaged by DHL, but it came really quickly. Very impressed with the speed of the shipping. Very nicely packaged in there. There's some bubble wrap and some kind of shredded paper, so I'll make sure I recycle that in a little bit. But individually packaged, I have what I presume is the housing itself, 2 ports. I've ordered a dome port and a flat port, and a pistol grip. So let's see what we've got. Right, first up, the housing itself. Okay, so there it is. It's pretty compact. It's pretty lightweight, although this is actually thicker than I was expecting. It's quite substantial, this kind of plastic, kind of polycarbonate maybe material. So controls wise, we've got a pretty good selection of controls on the back. This is just unboxing. I'll do like a proper review video of this when I've had a chance to use it in the sea. I've literally just picked this up this afternoon. You've got a kind of rubberized eye cup on kind of where the viewfinder would be underneath, and a nice clear back plate which shows the LCD as well. So, oh look, good control here on the side for focus, zoom rather, although I might try and adapt it for use with focus for the Samyang 8mm fisheye. Looks good, looks solid. It's actually like a textured surface here. I was expecting it to be like flat smooth, but it's actually quite textured. One of the things I wanted to check straight away was whether I could fit a GoPro sticky mount, because Liquid Eye, this is the C6000. They also do a C6300 for that a6300 camera body. And on that one, they've designed it so that a standard GoPro sticky mount, there's actually a place specifically for it on top of the housing. And I believe they might be slightly redesigning the top of this C6000 as well. But I was super keen to get hold of one, so I put an order in very early. So this is one of the earlier ones that came out. Looking at it, I think that's got enough surface to stick. It's not very, it's not completely flat, but it's not very curved either. This is a curved sticky mount. That's just, yeah, I think there's a bit too much curve in that one. So I think I'd go for a flat sticky mount right in the middle. I think that'd be all right. I'll probably try that out and give you some feedback once I've tested this one out in the sea. Yeah, so lots of controls. You've got shutter, you've got on off, which I haven't had on a surf housing before, which would be useful. I'll be able to load it up like the night before even, leave it off, and then get it all powered up. So, right, before I open that up, let's just see what else I've got here. Nice kind of individual boxes for each one, so they're all really well packaged. No signs of any dings on the box or anything. So this interesting difference between this Liquid Eye housing and pretty much every other surf housing I've had. There's no hole in the bottom for a control cable to go through. So the only other housing that's a bit like that I've used is the Aquatech, but that one has a port on here. It's like a bulkhead. So it's like a waterproof 3-pin switch that you plug in, and then that goes to a pistol grip. This works a bit differently. It's got like a little sensor inside. I'll give you some feedback on exactly how that feels and works when I've had a go with it. This will be the pistol grip. Sure enough it is. So similar sort of material to the housing itself. It's got these grips on the side. Feels nice and ergonomic. I've got fairly small hands. I wear like a medium-sized wetsuit glove, and that's a really comfortable fit for me. That trigger has got quite a bit of resistance there. It kind of springs back nicely, so I'll have to let you know how that goes in the next video. We've got a tool, like an Allen bolt, which would be for the 4 bolts on the back housing. Good to see there's only 4 on there. That's the smallest number of fixings I've seen on an a6000 housing so far. There's yeah, normally a couple more, so that'll be interesting. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail in terms of kind of comparing this to other options, because I will do a full video when I've tried this one out in the sea and I've had both of them side by side, and I'll do a proper head-to-head. This is just an unboxing. You do get a little leash with it, which is good. Nice padded, thick rubber leash, rubber kind of cover over the just kind of string, which is awesome. No, so the knot that ties that is all tucked away in there. It's not going to come undone. There's a little kind of pinch cord here that keeps it nice and secure around your wrist. Good to see, all included. So you get 4 bolts here that are normal flathead screwdriver bolts. So those are going to be for attaching this grip to the bottom of the housing. You do incidentally get a full instruction booklet. Feels solid though. Looks good. Okay, yeah, I mean the ergonomics all look really good. It's got a nice grip on the side. That's going to be really interesting to use this type of trigger, because I've never used one which has this kind of, I don't know, it must be a magnet in there or something that senses where how far you've pulled back this trigger mechanism, and then uses that to trigger the camera. So that's going to be really interesting. So what have we got next? Already looking pretty good. Let's see. Make sure I don't scratch anything. Okay, port number 1. Right, this is a flat port. So nice Liquid Eye. It's kind of coated neoprene cover. That's really good. Stays put. Cool. And it's quite a short flat port, so this is designed for the kit lens, 16 to 50mm kit lens. So it's probably going to fit my Sigma 30mm and my Sigma 19mm lenses in there as well. I don't think it will fit the 60mm, but I will double check for everyone who's got that lens. Little grub screw there. If you take that out, then you'll be able to unscrew this kind of retaining ring which goes on the outside of the acrylic, so then you can just remove that bit, swap the acrylic round. Not a procedure you want to do yourself necessarily, but I expect you could. And yeah, that should just thread straight in. So here's a trick I learned with one of my other housings. If you reverse, so I'm screwing this anti-clockwise until it clicks, and then screw it clockwise to screw it in, just to make sure you don't cross thread it. Right, let's see how this goes. Seems pretty straightforward. There we go. So that's your basic housing. It's tiny, isn't it? Proper compact, proper lightweight. Feeling the weight. I'll weigh this and compare it to the other setups that I'm going to test as well, like the Salty Surf housings, basic, and anything else, maybe the Mekon dive housing. And we'll just compare and see how heavy these are, because this one feels good. So that's the flat port. It's made of the same sort of material as the body of the housing, so it's quite light. But I know that some of the other ports you can get from other manufacturers are made of kind of aluminium. Yeah, I don't know if there's much advantage there. I guess one's stronger and one's lighter, so who knows? We'll find out. I will tell you in detail which one I like the most once I've had a go in the sea. Okay, the next one. Right, this is a dome port, and it's tiny as well. I'm loving the compactness of this whole setup. So far it looks like it's the most compact housing pistol grip port combo that I've used kind of ever. So this is looking good. Can't see any issues with this dome at all, which is always nice to see. Right, here we go. So I think, because like I said earlier, I was in a bit of a rush to get this, to get it as quickly as possible. I think they're going to send the cover, there's a neoprene cover for the dome ports as well, so they're going to be sending that through. So that looks cool. It's using like less of the hemisphere than the salty surf housings, but again, keep wanting to kind of compare it to other ones, but that's for another time. This is just showing you all about this Liquid Eye. So if you've ordered one, or if you're thinking of ordering one, this is what you're going to get. So this setup, by the way, dome port, flat port, pistol grip housing for the A6000. I believe it's 950 US dollars. I'll put up the conversions to Aussie dollars and to euros as well. Bear in mind it does come from Indonesia, so if you're like me and you don't live in Indonesia, then you're likely to have to fork out for some taxes on top. So if you see, this is like, that goes in pretty sweet. It's really kind of fine tolerances between the end of this pistol grip and the edge of the dome port. So this dome port is designed for the Samyang 8mm f2.8 fisheye version 1. The Samyang 8mm fisheye version 2 is a bit longer, and there's a good chance that it won't fit in this particular dome port. So this is the silver one that I've got is version 1. That's going to fit really well. It's basically designed for that, so that should work perfectly. Version 2 I think is going to be a bit too long, so I'm going to investigate. Apparently some people shave the kind of lens hood off of fisheye lenses like this, and people have been doing that for ages. It's something people do to use, especially when they want to use really wide fisheyes on full frame cameras to get a circular fisheye effect without seeing these petals in the shot. So there's lots of tutorials out there on how to do it. If I actually go down that route and decide to do it on this one, then I'll post you a how-to on how to do that. But I've always been really happy with the version 1 Samyang that I've got, and I mean, looking at it, you could shave off a good, I don't know, half a centimetre off those, and you'd still have the protection of, you'd still be able to put it down on the floor and not kind of scratch the lens element. So I don't know, maybe I will do it. But for now I'm going to use version 1 and hopefully get this out in the water this week. So that's amazing, such a small setup. I like it already, very compact. So the proof will be in actually using it in the sea, of course. Hopefully there's going to be a couple of waves this week. They're not going to be very good, but I should be able to get it out there. I'm going to take this dome port off before I scratch it or break it some other way. Okay, there you go. It's got good kind of ribbed edges to this port, so it's really easy to get a grip on it and twist it out of this, the hole of this in. So there's an O-ring in there. Let's open her up and see what we've got inside. So there's 4 Allen bolts, and they're kind of recessed into this clear acrylic back plate, and they come out really easily using this tool that's provided with the setup. So the acrylic plate itself is actually kind of threaded, so you do have to kind of screw the bolt through the threaded bit. And I've just realised that means that I can leave them in there. If I just do that and unscrew them from the front part of the housing, where I would use them to, well, if I screwed them in any further, then obviously I would be able to seal the housing up. Then they stay there and I'm never going to lose them. Wow, that's actually a bonus that I hadn't realised. So, quick back plate, all good. Inside we've got, so this is like as I said earlier, it's like a new style of pistol grip connection for me, because normally there'd be a hole in the bottom of the housing that would be sealed with another O-ring. Cable would come up through, go bend around the side and then plug into the side of the camera. But this time it's just got this kind of flat piece there. It makes it really low profile. Also means this connector looks like you could if anything did go wrong, then you could just replace one part of this rather than having to replace the whole thing, which is quite useful. This is your standard Sony multi-port. It's a little bit different to the one on the Salty Surf housings, but I'll get into that in more detail when I do a comparison. Yeah, so that goes on. There's 3 wires, bodes well for focus and then shutter release. But I've got lots of buttons on the back, so if I did want to separate focus from shutter release, I could always go for a back button focus. And then you've got 2 dials on the top. So yes, generally speaking, a really nice looking housing. Just as nice as I expected, really. Lightweight. I think if you've ordered this already through the Liquid Eye website, then you're going to be happy when this arrives. I'm going to put links up below to the site where you can order it, and learningsurfphotography.com, where I've talked about this one a little bit already. And yeah, so next step, stick a GoPro mount on the top probably, get this out in the water, test it with the version 1 fisheye, and see which lenses fit in the flat port, and then give it a good test run when there's next some waves. But yeah, all in all, really nice looking housing. Super light, super small, and yeah, probably a really good shout if you've already ordered. I hope you're looking forward to it even more now. And if you did want to order now, then I'll put the link below. Okay, thanks everyone. I'll see you soon for a review. Might be a little bit longer because there's no waves on the horizon in the UK. So maybe a couple of weeks before I get around to doing an actual review. If you've got any questions, if there's anything specifically that you want to know about this housing, then shoot me an email, ben@learningsurfphotography.com, or add a comment below this video on YouTube, or add a comment on the blog post on learningsurfphotography.com. I'll find them wherever you put the questions, and I'll do my very best to answer those. But yeah, just can't wait to get in the sea now. Thanks very much. I'll speak to you again soon.